Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soda here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world, talking about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. All right. So, Bleacher Report did this kind of like a story on the top free agents in the 2025 NFL offseason and their projections of where they would probably go if you had to make a choice. There's, the usual suspects. There's offensive tackles. There's receivers, running backs, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Here's where it concerns us. They have Sam Darnold projected to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, look, I get it. He hasn't had the greatest career, all right? He was drafted by the Jets. Who plays well for the Jets, right? Goes to Carolina. Who really plays well for Carolina? He sits 1 year under Shanahan with San Francisco, gets some good coaching, goes to some more good coaching with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. Dude balls out. Now, I get it. I understand he ended the year with a couple of clunkers, a couple of snoozers, right? But overall, his season was really good. You can't deny the fact that this dude won 14 games with Minnesota. That's not a small feat. He went in there and he did just as good, if not better, than Kirk Cousins ever did. Now, look, I get it. I understand. Yes, Minnesota may not want to let him go, but Minnesota has a lot of free agents, including their starting running back, Aaron Jones. They have a lot of needs in a lot of different places. I mean, they let Danielle Hunter go over the last offseason, and he balled out for Houston. They have needs on the offense and the defense, and that loss in the playoffs really showed that they have some deficiencies they need to fill in free agency and the draft. So they just spent a super high draft pick last season on J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy, people are saying if he was in this year's draft class, would be the overwhelming number one choice. Well, they already got him. So why spend 35, 40 million bucks on a quarterback when you just drafted one that's going to be the best one in this year's draft? He's coming off a knee injury, and I understand that when it comes to McCarthy, but I don't know that Minnesota is going to want to fork out that kind of cash on a quarterback that's not going to be their long-term option. That's going to be J.J. McCarthy. Now, when it comes to the Raiders, it's a really good fit because Pete Carroll doesn't want to ask too much of his quarterback, right? He said it before. The recipe is very simple. You run the ball well, you play good defense, you're strong on special teams, quarterback makes plays when he needs to. That's pretty much what Sam Darnold does. You don't want him to be a playmaker all the time, just when he needs to be one. The critical third down, maybe a fourth down play here and there, red zone area, that's where you need this guy to make plays, and he generally can. Now, you add into the mix of Chip Kelly, Sam Darnold is a lot more mobile than you think. When you simplify the game plan, when you simplify the playbook, and you just add tags to it, different plays off of the same play, it makes it really simple, and it just cuts down on the thinking when it comes to Sam Darnold. He's going to be able to play fast, play confident, and that really bodes well for whoever takes him, and hopefully it is the Raiders. I understand that we have a high draft pick, but I don't know that we're going to be able to get a quarterback that we want to lead our team at 6. Is he better than Jackson Dart? I think arm talent-wise, he's much better than Jackson Dart. Let's just be honest here, okay? This dude was a top 3 pick in the NFL for a reason. When it comes down to players, you have to first look at their talent because not every situation is equal. He went to the Jets, terrible coaching, terrible teammates, just terrible situation. They couldn't protect him. He was running around. They wanted to make him Josh Allen, basically. Run around and just make plays and do that. That's just not who he is. There's very few people out there like that. There's a Josh Allen and a Josh Allen, right? Sam Darnold is not that, but Sam Darnold can be extremely good as a starting quarterback. Look what he did this last season. People weren't expecting too much from him, right? But he went out there and he balled out, and he did it the entire season. 14 wins is nothing to sneeze at. Now, look, I get it. There could be some other teams out there who want Sam Darnold. Maybe he's not a perfect fit for what Chip Kelly wants to do. I think he's actually a very good fit for what Chip Kelly wants to do. The Raiders have the cap space, man. They have the second most cap space behind the New England Patriots, and the Patriots just got their quarterback in Drake May. They're actually in a pretty good spot to make a pretty big leap if Vrabel can get things together with the Patriots. Now, getting back to the Raiders, all that cap space has to be spent somewhere. And it's going to be spent re-signing their players, but fortifying positions that need help. The two most glaring positions that need help in the Raiders this offseason are quarterback and running back. Now, there are a ton of running backs in the draft this coming up year, and you don't have to spend a first-round pick number 6 to get one. You can get one in the second or even the third round who's going to be really, really, really good, a playmaker for you. Maybe you go BPA and you do sign a Sam Darnold. If you sign a Sam Darnold, that means the pressure is off on what you're going to do in the first couple of rounds of this draft. Maybe you get a guy in like the third or fourth round who kind of slips a little bit, who does have some talent, because even though there's not any elite players at the quarterback position in this draft, there's the top 2 guys. There's Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. But the rest of these guys, they're all grouped together. The Quinn Ewers, the Jackson Darts, the Will Howards, the Dylan Gabriels, there's the McCours. There's a bunch of these guys who were traveled around a bunch of different schools. When they had the opportunity to play, they showed out. So it is very possible that the Raiders do sign Sam Darnold to a nice contract for a few years, but also kind of draft an heir apparent underneath who has a good skill set as well. Now, I understand. I've heard it just like you guys that, Russell Wilson could be a fit for Pete Carroll to come back and this and that. And yeah, Russell Wilson does have the skill set that you're looking for, like in a Chip Kelly offense. A guy who can run RPOs, a guy who can run the ball, mobile, can throw on the run. But he's a lot older. Dude is 36 years old. Sam Darnold's only 27 years old. He's only a couple of years older than a couple of the guys coming in on the draft. This dude, if we're able to get him and keep him on the right trajectory, this could be a huge steal for the Raiders, getting Sam Darnold. Am I saying 100% he's going to be the man? No. But you can't argue with the talent. You can't argue with his ability. 14 wins, and he started every single one of them. Sam Darnold showed that he can be a top player in the NFL at the quarterback position. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. Is Bleacher Report onto something? Are they just full of it? Or are they just trying to make content? Who knows? But you can't argue with the basics. The basics are, it doesn't make a ton of sense for Minnesota to sign Sam Darnold to a huge contract when they drafted their quarterback of the future last season. Now, again, if J.J. McCarthy was coming out this season in the NFL draft, he would be the overwhelming number 1 pick. So the Minnesota Vikings are getting this number 1 pick quarterback in their draft. Now, they don't have to draft him. They already got the guy. They didn't have to move up for him or anything last season. He's there. He's signed, sealed, and delivered, right? He is coming off an injury, but all accounts show that J.J. McCarthy will be just fine for the season coming up. Now, so when you look at it from that perspective, there's a lot of more needs that Minnesota has other than quarterback. So they need to fortify a lot of positions. And why spend a ton of money on a quarterback when you have one in the wings, right? The only other team that can outbid as far as money, the Raiders, is the New England Patriots. Dude, they already have their quarterback. They don't need to spend money on a quarterback. The Raiders are in prime position with the head coach, with the offensive coordinator, with the weapons that the Raiders have. They just need to get a running game, maybe get a couple of pieces in the offensive line, and they are off to the races. Sam Darnold can definitely run a system like a Chip Kelly system and really kind of be asked to go above and beyond a couple of plays a game. He's more than talented enough in his arm and his legs and his abilities to do that for you a couple times a game. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share. It is the bare minimum you guys can do to help this channel out and help me out, besides doing absolutely nothing. All right? Now, let everyone know that you see on the streets that has Raider gear on. Say, yo, man, Raiders versus the world is the best thing going today. Let them know what's going on with your boy Soto. He's making content just for you guys because I love it, and I love the Raiders. Guys, we're going to go ahead and make some more content for you. If you have anything that you want to see, leave it in the comments below. Until then, next time, everybody, peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.